The most difficult thing about live service games, at least in my opinion, is definitely the way that the game tends to change with time. There is a lot that happens over the course of a live service game's lifespan. That includes updates, power creeps, balances, but it also includes things like new features or new standards for design. Every new character or weapon or power or whatever the case may be that comes out will always have new design philosophies to come along with it, and this often leads older characters feeling very stale and outdated. Another problem that tends to pop up is whatever code the game was originally built on tends to stay what they build it off on for the rest of the game's lifespan. So when you have a game like Dead by Daylight, who has been out that has been out since 2016 and was made at the time by a smaller indie company and is now at a point where they are massive, well, a lot of the codes just really aren't up to par. See, the way most companies handle this kind of thing is by doing something called reverse design, where they go back to their older characters and they try to update them to the modern era. Sometimes you'll have games do some sort of rotation, where this is mostly for TCGs, but they'll rotate older stuff out to bring the newer stuff in, so you're always just kind of playing the newest thing. So, one of the big problems that comes with Dead by Daylight is definitely its mess of coding and errors. My friend Bran will tell you from the tops of the roofs how much he hates the collision in this game. I will sit here and tell you for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours how much I fucking hate the reveal mechanic on Ghostface, or how bad the LOS tends to be on any character that requires LOS to work. There's a lot of issues that pop up in the game, and every time they go to change something that seems completely unrelated, something else will break. I still remember whenever they did something a few patches ago, we don't know what it was that caused it, but all of a sudden, Pinhead's camera started snapping whenever you used the possess changed. It just happened out of nowhere. There was nothing to do with FOVs, nothing that came in with cameras, none of that. It just randomly started fucking with everything. And it's that kind of what we've come as a community to knowingly call the spaghetti code that has become a big problem. There's also a big issue with things that need updating. By the time you guys see this video, hopefully it'll be ready. It should be ready, but I have a very big video coming out on literally the oldest character in Dead by Daylight, and when that character comes out, you're going to hear me talk a lot about how he's outdated in terms of things like his Mori, his lore, the music, the chase theme, the terror radius, etc., etc. And it's time for people like Trapper, like Wraith, to get updates to their, well, everything. It's time for them to get actual updates so that those kind of things can be brought in line with the rest of the cast. That is why I am introducing a suggestion, an unironic, serious suggestion called Health and Horror. This would be an entire chapter dedicated to fixing bugs, doing collision overhauls, updating older characters, and you can go all out with this. See, the way I would do this is we wouldn't introduce a new killer or a new survivor. Instead, there would be a complete front to back overhaul of things. So we would get, like I said, collision overpasses and bug fixes and stuff. We would get updates to older killers who don't have as impressive Moris, or we would even newer killers like the Skull Merchant, right? People have been about the Skull Merchant's Mori for a while. There's this really cool photo where she like shoves her claws through the dude's back of the dude's head and it comes out his eyes. That would be really cool to see come to the game. You could do stuff like that, but you could also do things like rebalance killers that need rebalancing. Do a giant rebalance overhaul. You know what I mean? Rework the twins, Myers, Freddy. There's more, obviously, but you could do like 5 or 6 killer reworks all in the same chapter. And this would all come together to make the chapter feel a lot bigger than, or feel as big, if not bigger, than if you were to release a new killer, survivor, and map for the chapter. We don't need a new killer every chapter. I've said this for a long time. I think new killers and new characters come way too often. I think they need to start doing like like every other chapter is a new character release, and then the chapters in between are focused on rebalancing and updating and things like that. But if you want to just pour it all in to one chapter, This is your chance to do it. Now, when I would personally do this, and some people might disagree with me, is the anniversary chapter. I would pick an anniversary chapter and I would dedicate it to this gigantic, massive overhaul. And then during it, you could put like everything on sale. You put all the DLCs on sale. You could like release a big blast of cosmetics. Every character in the game gets a cosmetic for this event. And when I say a full cosmetic. Every single character gets one. Nobody's left out. And then people aren't even going to be bothered that you didn't release new characters because they're going to have new cool shit to play with. And I think that that's something that's very important that behavior needs to consider. Look, I love this game. It's why I came back to it. It's why I play it. It's why I make content out of it. And in my personal opinion, the best thing that you can do for this game is to dedicate an entire chapter to overhauling, updating, and polishing this game so that we can come together and see it be the absolute best that it can be. But as always, guys, I don't make these videos just about my opinions at you. I make them so that you guys can also give me your opinions. It's an open discussion here on my channel. So make sure you leave your comments down below. And as always, a very big special thank you to our channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today and get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.